Hello everyone. Benga Adetitun is my name. This YouTube channel, I welcome you to it. This morning I want to talk to you about intuition, inspiration, and giftings. There are some things that we do that we prepare for, and by the time we are doing the delivery, we think we are not the one doing the delivery, because you see that what you are saying has gone beyond our own capacity. That is intuition. A particular man called Robert Schuller, who was the author of the book Tough Time Never Lasts, but Tough People Do. The man said he was a motivational speaker and he was a pastor, he was a reverend of the Crystal Cathedral in America. Those days, it's late now, but his work still live long after he's gone. This man said the farmers in America were invited to a hall, and were gathered in a hall, about 3,500 of them, 3,500, and he was to come and speak to them and motivate them. As a motivational speaker, usually he will get to the hall, he will make some jokes, and they crack some jokes, and he will tell them this and then everybody is laughing and happy, and he will tell them they can do it, they can do this, and he speak to them just like I'm doing, just like I did in my YouTube video, that you're not too young to be an achiever and to be a success. That video, that message in that video was not actually prepared for. After the delivery, I listened to it again. I saw that this was beyond me. It had been taken over by intuition, by the powerful forces, and by the Almighty. And they breathed into it. And when I listen to some of my YouTube videos, I also get inspired. I get lifted. Now, Robert Schuller said he entered the hall, and the people that invited him told them these farmers are going through tough time because there was no rain. The ground was hard, and there was no rain. There was no how they could break the soil and plant because there was no rain, and they were having tough time. And he told Robert Schuller, don't bring your jokes into this place. And these people, they are not ready for jokes. I don't know how you want to do it, but do it. Robert Schuller said he has prepared his speech. He has prepared his presentation, or usual what he's going to speak to inspire them. But with what he had, he could not say, he knew that presentation and the joke he prepared to start was not going to work. So he got to the stage, and then he said he paced. He moved to this side of the stage, he moved to that side, saying nothing. That pace usually is very, very key for a motivational speaker, for an inspirational speaker, for a lecturer, for a teacher, to prepare him. The people are observing, they are watching. He also is preparing. What am I going to say first? The ice need to be broken. What am I going to use to break the ice? What am I going to use to start the communication? So he said he paced. After he paced for a while, Robert Schuller said, from nowhere, he didn't know how that thing came. He said he just opened his mouth, bagada, and he said, tough time never lasts, but tough people do. And he said, as he said it, he didn't know from where it came. He didn't plan it. He didn't know where it came from. He said he just went ahead to deliver a spontaneous speech to them of what he prepared. He didn't go through what he prepared again. He just delivered his spontaneous speech. That tough time never lasts, but tough people do. He said the moment he said that, the speech began naturally. And he went to tell them the tough time he had gone through. That he was sent to start the Crystal Cathedral somewhere, in another place. And he got there. They didn't give him money. He has a limited amount of money. He has his wife. He has his car, maybe his daughter, and they were to go and start. And they were not given resources. He got there. What am I going to do? That was when it came about the possibility thinking. That was when it came about the count to 10 and win. In any problem, he will list 10 possible solutions. That was when he said, okay, since we didn't have a place to worship, all the places we will have taken, they're already taken. Okay, what do we do? If some people are using a particular place for a church in the morning, you can use it in the evening. So he wrote that that's an option. That's an option. He said, okay, we can rent an open space and use it. That's an option. We can rent an open space and build something over it and put something over it like a canopy. That's an option. We can rent a Masonic building. That's an option. We can do this. We can do that. He wrote 10 things, and by the time he wrote those 10 things, the tough time he thought he had did not last. It's melted away because they found a way to do everything they wanted to do. He spoke about his daughter going through health challenge, but she was able to surmount it. He spoke about his father, his own father, the tough time they have gone through at that time. Maybe you are going through tough time in your life. It's not going to last. But you, the tough man, you are going to last. Tough time never lasts. The tough people do. Be tough. Be a tough individual. Robert said they did not have anything in the home. He told them the story that what do you think you are going through? You are going through nothing. And he told them stories upon stories of tough times he have experienced and how he overcame them. I have experienced tough time too, and I overcame the tough time. What I'm talking about now is speaking spontaneously, speaking from intuition, and that speech is going to carry weight more than years of preparations. More than years of preparation. More than years of preparation. Many years of preparation. When you speak spontaneously, it may carry weight more than years of preparation. There's what is called intuition. From nowhere, the idea just came, and then it moves. It changed the course of events and became acceptable to the people. And the scholar said, by the time people were leaving the hall, they were happy. They were hopeful. But he didn't read from his script. He did not read from his script. You are going through life. Maybe you have some presentations to make. The intuition is very, very key. Spontaneity is very, very key. It's going to change the course of things. Maybe you wrote something. Spontaneity. Sometimes I told you about an individual who is a best writing author and a best selling author who I know. He told me, he said, sometimes he wants to write a book. He will not be planning the book for 5 years. Some people will be planning book for 3 years. Some people say if you want to write, plan for 3 years. The ideas have been in his head for 3 years. One day he just say, Move, I want to write. He'll sit down with the printer, take barrel. 1 hour, you write everything you want to write. And then give the printer. Printer understand writing, you bring it out, produce it, and you proofread it and add 1 or 2 things, and the book is out. Spontaneous. Spontaneous ideas are great ideas, powerful ideas from the divine realm, from the realm of divinity, from the realm of the Almighty, from the realm of the Almighty God. Depend upon God to draw this strength. The prophets of old, they depended upon God, they drew strength from all those ideas, and they are able to come up with things that human reasoning. I don't know how Albert Einstein got that kind of ideas. Some people say it's nature, it's natural, it's gifted. Yes, it's gifted by who? By the Almighty, by the Almighty Creator. Albert Einstein talking about energy, talking about abstract things, theory of relativity, that 100 years after he was gone, those things, we are still trying to put them together. And they see that when they put them, they became very strong things. Charles Darwin tried also, but his was just by observation. Albert Einstein's was no observation. He was saying, he was prophesying. He was saying and talking about future things. He was talking about things to come in the field of energy. These can only come by divine assistance. By divine assistance. By divine assistance. By divine assistance. Robert Schuller was connected to the divine. You also, You have to be connected to the divine if you are going to do exploits in your field. This is the time. This is the set time to do that. The time is now. The time is now. Depend on the Almighty. Depend on the Almighty. Depend on the Almighty. Depend on the Almighty. Prepare, but depend on the Almighty for that spontaneous idea, for that intuition, for that inspiration. I am going to talk to you some other time. I've delivered this over 10 minutes of talk by intuition, by inspiration. It was not planned for, but you will see it's going to turn your life around. It's going to make you to rethink your life. See you some other time. Bye for now.